earnings now in full swing. Take a look at Alphabet shares this morning, up almost 6%, kicking off big tech earnings this week. Last night, Alphabet, parent of Google, reported a double beat with the company's AI products, boosting the company's cloud revenue by nearly 35%. That revenue coming in at $11 billion plus. We will hear from Microsoft and Meta after the close tonight, followed by Apple and Amazon tomorrow night after the close. We will also hear from Caterpillar this morning, along with Eli Lilly later in the morning as well. We'll get those numbers for you. Starbucks after the bell tonight, oil giant Chevron and ExxonMobil coming out on Friday. Big week for earnings. Joining me now is the Fitz-Gerald Group principal, Keith Fitz-Gerald. Keith, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Your thoughts on the earnings season so far? Any takeaways at the Google quarter as well?
Well, just wow and wow. You know, companies continue to put up good numbers if they've got their stuff together. Companies that don't are getting punished, and rightfully so. I was thrilled to see Google do what it did yesterday, particularly since it's related to AI and enterprise growth, which, as you and I talked about very early on, I mean, people looked at me sideways when I said this was going to be a big deal, but here we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, Adam, does the Alphabet quarter last night and the surge in revenue around cloud and AI, does that give you any indication of what we're going to hear from the others AI-linked companies?
Yes, because cloud and AI is where everything is happening, and that's where you want to be. Any company that's focused on cloud or AI, cloud in order to increase computing power, bring people together, use the cloud more efficiently, AI for obvious reasons, it improves businesses across the board. Any company that's focused on cloud and AI is in the sweet spot, and I think we're going to see a lot more where that came from.
You still own NVIDIA, right?
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah, and Taiwan Semi as well?
I do not own Taiwan Semi. You know, as you know, Maria, I run the American Ingenuity Fund, right? I focus only on American companies. So that's why I don't. Taiwan's a wonderful company, but no, I focus right here. Got to own NVIDIA, its core.
Keith, what are your takes on investing in this group today? Would you put new money to work in some of these AI-related companies today?
Absolutely, and without hesitation, because that is where the growth is. You know, to build on Adam's point, and I agree with him, every business on the planet will adapt, adopt, or die. That is just that simple and that powerful, so you bet I will.
Let's take a look at interest rates. I want to get your take here because rates have been soaring, Keith. The Wall Street Journal this morning writing about the prospect of a rising federal budget deficit driving bond yields. The yield right now on the 10-year is down 3.6 basis points, but we are all the way back up to 4.21% on the 10-year. As investors bet a challenging fiscal situation will get worse after the election. Meanwhile, we've got the Conference Board finding its consumer confidence index up to 108.7 in October. That was the biggest monthly gain since March of 2021. Consumers are feeling more confidence heading into this election. Your thoughts on rates and the macro story right now?
Well, let's tackle rates first. I think the street is testing the Fed's resolve. You know, they came into this betting that the Fed was just immediately going to start cutting rates left, right, and center. But that's not happening. So this reminds me of the early stages of the financial crisis. And I'm not saying we're going to go down that path. But in terms of the way they're behaving and trying to test the Fed, I think there are some parallels. With regard to the consumer confidence, that's a study that I don't buy. I don't believe that data. I think that, yes, certain elements of our economy are very, very strong. And I share Adam's belief in investing in American ingenuity, but there's a lot of parts of our economy that are still hurting, or you wouldn't see the political messaging you are from both parties.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, with rates, are you expecting rates to keep going higher, even as the Federal Reserve tells us that they're going to continue cutting interest rates?
Well, you know, I'm not smart to figure that out. I don't believe a word the Fed says. I'm banking on the fact that they're going to be higher for longer. I don't think they are going to actually take them up. But I think that Chairman Powell has got a real problem on his hands because he's not going to take them down. He hasn't acknowledged that his models are broken. He said he simply needs to recalibrate, and I don't buy that either.
Well, we've got a week of economic data to inform. We've got the October ADP national employment number this morning at 8:15 a.m. Eastern. We are expecting growth in jobs. 114,000 private sector jobs expected to have been added to the economy for the month of October. We'll also get the first read of third quarter GDP. That's out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern this morning. Economists expecting growth here as well. The economy grew by 3% as the estimate for this first read of third quarter. And we'll get the September PCE index tomorrow and the October jobs report on Friday. Keith, what's most important here in terms of all of this data, and what are you expecting?
I think you want to look for data that is real data that shows that there's real growth, because good news really is good news, particularly if you're focused on companies that are oriented towards delivering the theme, the structural changes that are making our world pivot, because that's where the future is. We don't want to skate to where the world used to be anymore. AI has changed all that. The way companies function has changed all that. So I want to look forward. I want to look at data that indicates real strength, not any kind of hypothetical move, not any kind of things on the periphery. It's keep it on the fairway time, hit right down to the center, go to the green. That's how you're going to win.
All right, Keith, thanks very much for being here. Keith Fitz-Gerald joining us on Market. Thank you.